Hello and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to plan the week of July 17th through the 23rd. And as you can see, I am doing this in a voiceover format because this is my first video filming in my new place and I don't really know, I was not comfortable talking out loud while doing this at the time. So for now I'm going to do the voiceover and then we'll kind of see if I can find some good times to do a more real-time kind of video at some point. But for now, this is what we've got. As I showed, I'm using the big Seasonal Whimsy or Whimsy Seasons or something book from the Happy Planner this week. And that is because I really like these fruit stickers. I love the pinks especially, and like the pinks and the oranges, how they pair together. If it's not obvious, I've completely disregarded the blue at the top. It's like a dark teal kind of color and it just isn't that big a deal to me. So I'm completely ignoring it in favor of using these stickers that I really like. And some things that I've done ahead of time are put in my habits and I changed them a little bit. So basically this week the things that I'm interested in tracking are that I've journaled in my reading journal. I've checked in with that. So that's what the R means at the end of the first journal to do thing. That I've checked in with my personal kind of more long form journal, the thing where I just kind of stream of consciousness check in with what's going on in my brain that day. That I have read something, and then water, that I've had enough water. And that one's important because I find that I don't drink enough water when I'm not working. So if you're new to my channel, I am a high school teacher, and when I am at school I'm talking all the time, so I get really thirsty really fast, and I have a really large half-gallon water bottle I carry with me, and I kind of always hold it while I'm talking in class, and so I drink a lot of water. Now that I'm not at school because it's the summer break, I don't drink nearly enough water. I'll just sit, or I'll read, or I'll clean, or I'll do whatever I'm going to do that day, and if I don't open my mouth to talk, I don't even notice that I'm thirsty. So that's definitely something I am tracking. As you can see here, I've laid down a large quote sticker that says "Life is sweet." It's taking up the whole kind of appointment event chunk of my Tuesday, but because it is summer break, I don't have a ton of appointments, and I knew that there wasn't a holiday that day, it wasn't anyone's birthday, there was nothing I wanted to highlight on Tuesday. So I put that sticker down because I loved it. I love the pink, and then with the orange, it's so good. So I put those down and I'm kind of just decorating in the corners. Basically the way I organize this is I've got my habits on the leftmost column. In the middle is where I will put things like appointments, holidays, places I need to go, that kind of thing. And then the right hand side I use for to-dos. I really love having that pre-printed to-do list. That is part of the primary reason why I wanted the Erin Condren academic planner over any other kind of academic planner. I just love that to-do list. It's so nice. It's little circles. I like circles instead of squares for my checkboxes. It's really nice. So I have removed the flags that marked the only two things of note this week, although I guess there are a couple more. I'll talk about those here in a second. But the first one is that it is someone's birthday. So that's on Friday. They're actually not celebrating his birthday really until the following week, but also maybe we might do a family dinner this weekend to celebrate. I don't know, but it's his birthday, and then coincidentally it's my boyfriend's parents' anniversary on the exact same day, and they're the same age. This guy is turning 40 and my boyfriend's parents have been married for 40 years, and that's a crazy wild coincidence that's really funny. And so that's why I think that they have plans to do some kind of dinner this weekend to just kind of be yay anniversary, yay birthday, that kind of thing. So that's what that first box is for. And I really enjoyed using these wider boxes in my spread this week. This is a big Happy Planner sticker book that I'm working from, so these stickers are wider than your kind of standard 1.5 inch, and they're really fun. I like having that extra space in the middle to play with larger stickers like that. So what I'm doing now is putting some stripes in a pink highlighter. This is a Sharpie S Note. And right here you can see my absolute disappointment that one of the lines for Friday bled through the page. I have used this in my reading journal, which is Happy Planner paper, like a ton, and I haven't had any problems with bleed through. But something about the Erin Condren paper, the way it just absorbs ink, meant that on Friday, because I held my pen still just a little too long, it bled through. And so all following swipes I tried to be more quick so to not bleed through the page. It was super disappointing and I was a little angry about it at the time. Otherwise, I really like the Sharpie S-Note pens. I bought a pack, I think a 5-pack at Walmart a few weeks ago because I wanted to have a few mild highlighters. Usually I go the mild liner route, but they're a little pricey and I just needed something quick, something basic, and the Sharpie S-Note had a set of colors that I just really liked. I like this pink, they had a green, a yellow, that are really basic, very muted colors that are like pastel, and I really enjoyed those. So these strips are to track daily gratitude. One of my goals for the year really has been to practice doing daily gratitude. And so the way I'm tracking that is by making a spot to actually write that down in my weekly planner. My goal tracking as much as possible is in my weekly planner because I check in with this every single day, all the time. I cannot not have my weekly planner. It has all my important stuff in it. My other planners and journals are kind of auxiliary. This is the one that really makes everything in my life stay on track. So I wanted to put as much of my goal setting in here as possible. Not featured on this channel because I wasn't filming at the time is that I did buy a Moxie Life goal planner for the year, and I'm not really using the weekly pages at all. And for the first 6 months of the year I didn't use it much at all either, but I really like the Moxie Life goal setting system. So all of my goals are based on it, and I have actually started to use it again in July just for the goal setting pages, for the weekly check-ins and the weekly action items and things like that. But at the end of the day, all of those things that I need to track and to do get put in this weekly planner. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing it. I'll probably do a more in-depth kind of look at that at some point. I am hoping to get the Moxie Life guided like goal setting companion notebooks for next year because I don't need the weekly planner. I don't like having it on that huge owing coil, so we'll see. I might do a video on that. The other box that I put on Friday is to note that our internet router has to be returned. We did move at the beginning of July, and we don't need internet at our new place because we're staying with my boyfriend's parents for a few months, and so we didn't need to bring our internet over, and I need to return the hardware before they charge me, and they started to call me, and I've got to do it, but it's due on the 21st. Those are the only two boxes marking things that I actually know something's gonna happen. These other boxes that I'm placing down are purely for like just because they look nice, and I'm sure I'll find something to put in them at some point. Like it's not that big a deal to me to put down boxes and just figure out what to write in them later. I want my spread to be complete because I don't like taking out stickers to like fill in little gaps. Like I want my weekly spread to be as complete as possible and looking nice so that all I have to do during the week is write in it. I can't be bothered to pull out my sticker books or keep them nearby in order to just fill in a gap here, get a box sticker just for that special event. No. I plan it all out, set it all down, and then I will fill in stuff as it comes. Something that's not obvious but that I usually do in these types of videos is that even though this is a voiceover, I'm not actually doing a time-lapse right now, and I kind of feel like I won't do a time-lapse for this video. This is real time, kind of what my hands are doing, how I'm choosing to lay out the stickers and put things on the page, even though the voiceover is happening like a week later. And I kind of like that. I like being able to both comment on what I'm doing, but also have the freedom of brain space to add additional commentary, stories, and notes that I might forget to say if I am trying to talk and plan at exactly the same time. But not fast forwarding this means that I have the space to do that, whereas if I were fast forwarding, then I would have to keep up with what I'm doing on the page more than I can add extra anecdotes. And I'm really interested in adding the anecdotes right now because I have been away from my channel for so long. It's been like a year since I uploaded consistently, and it's just good to be back. So at this point in the planner, I am getting really close to being done with the weekly pages. I really liked that big kind of square box that I put on the upper right on Thursday. It fits in that space so perfectly. And the complementary box colors that I've picked for this spread are a light pink and a light green. These are all in the sticker book that I showed at the beginning of the video. I've layered them up on Thursday, and then I put a couple down on Wednesday. And at this point, really, I am just battling a bit of white space that I don't want. I don't know what I'm going to do for Monday, how I will fill in that space appropriately. And then for Thursday, I want to lay down this lemon sticker, but you can see the box lines through the page, so I'm doing my best to white them out with this white Sakura jelly roll. Now this is a really good pen. It's a really nice white pen. I find that it's pretty opaque most of the time, but you have to let it dry. Like, it gets more opaque as it dries, and I did not wait enough. I was not patient. I just threw that sticker on and it didn't dry at all, and it's not opaque, so the lines are very visible, and that's fine. It was a little annoying at the time, but I can live with it. So Thursday's all done, Friday's all done, I think almost everything except Monday. Monday was throwing me for a loop. There was nothing going on. I was starting to run out of boxes that had the colors that I wanted at this point. And this book doesn't have a ton of functional stickers. That is why I bought it at the time, because I thought that I would do... I'm avoiding the Happy Planner functional sticker books because a lot of the things are sized for the Happy Planner boxes, and I don't want like tons of full box checklist stickers and things like that I know I'm probably not going to use in this notebook because it doesn't go with the layout very well. So I have avoided sticker books that have a lot of functional items. But the problem that I had with this spread is that because this book didn't have a lot of functional items, I did not have enough boxes to do what I wanted. I don't like having too many loose elements on the page. I like to make little clusters of like decorative elements next to boxes and quotes and things like that. So I finally hunted down this green box, one of the last few green and pink boxes I had in this book, and these are the kind of sticker boxes that have the little like triangle on them as though they're meant to be kind of like a quote bubble or something. It's kind of weird, and I made it work for the other boxes on the page, but this one I didn't want it there. It wasn't gonna fit nicely in such a way that I could also keep at least one of my pink highlights. As you can see, I covered one of them, so I wanted to keep one, so I trimmed off that little triangle, and I liked that actually. I think that you can't even tell I had to alter the sticker in any way at all, and I almost wish I had trimmed the triangles off the other boxes, but I thought about that like way too late. So this is where we are, and now I'm just making sure that we're done. And Monday is still a little too bare, and there's one more thing I want to add, and that is this big beautiful watermelon. It's so pretty. It was almost too big to make sense on that page in that spot, but I'm glad I put it on there because I really like it. I think it's a really pretty watermelon. Love the pink, love the green. It's a good time. So this is my weekly spread for the week of July 17th through the 23rd. I'm going to attempt to white out this line in vain. It works a little bit better than what I tried on Thursday because I waited a little longer for the gel ink to dry, but still not long enough, so it does not work, and you'll see that here shortly. But cielo, you might be thinking to yourself, if we are done with the weekly spread, what is the other half of this video about? Well, this came up briefly in my last video, I think. I don't remember. I've been trying to film in advance as much as I can because that's the only way I know I can keep up with the channel. And so at some point I mentioned that this weekly spread doesn't have a weekly list or notes or anything like that. But what this planner does have is a lot of extra notes pages after the weeks and between the end of the weeks and the months. So that's where we're going next. I need to set that up, and I hope I get to it. I don't know why I'm being so slow right now. I think I was making sure that I truly am done with this spread, but speaking from the future, I know that I didn't add anything else. So let's go. Oh, I guess I fill in the boxes. So I marked the birthday in the pink one, and then I marked that the router is due on the 21st. I have to take it to a UPS store, and they're supposed to like pack it up and send it back to AT&T. So I hope that's easy, but we'll have to see. Okay, finally, we're getting to it. So I've got my notes page here, and I need to set it up so that it has a place for me to put like my to-dos for the week and just notes that I want to keep, as well as my memory keeping. So if you go to my Instagram, same handle as my YouTube channel, I posted a picture of what my memory keeping spread looks like for last week, for the week of the 10th. And basically what I do is I have a spot where I can have a running to-do list for the week, things that I know I want to get done that week, but I haven't assigned them a day yet. I just don't want to forget them. I keep my running to-do list there. And then there's a lot of extra space. Like, I don't need this whole page for a weekly to-do list. So what I do with all the extra space is I make little pictures that I print off on my HP Sprocket. This is a video I'll probably do at some point as well. But in summary, I make little collages of 4 pictures, and then I print them off on my HP Sprocket and fill in the space. And use the space to memory keep, and I really like it. I like how it's all together in my planner. It's not too much space. It's a nice summary of my week. So that's what we're getting set up here, and I'm starting with this header. I hate this header. I don't like how it came out. I struggled with this header the whole time I was putting stickers on this page, and I never was happy with it. Even by the end of the video, as I'm using it this week, no, this header and we did not get along. I tried to use the same Sharpie S-Note highlighter from earlier and did just a monoline cursive that notes this is the week of July 17th to the 23rd. And I don't like how thin it is. I think that's the main problem. For a header, the font is too thin. And then I try to fix it later. You'll see it doesn't come out good. But until then, I used this quote sticker. This was the last summary quote sticker I think I had in this book. And it says, "Look on the bright side." And I just let that take up the whole lower left kind of corner of the page. And then I decided that I wanted to commit to using that lower left hand part as just decoration. And I knew I wanted to get much more fruit down on the page. So after I put that down, I just tried to frame it with some more fruit. So I put this really big pineapple. It's really pretty. The colors in this part of the book are so bright and summery, and I was having a good time when I was putting this together. So we've got our pineapple. I put this lime wedge down, and then there was just some awkward space that I wanted to fill in with smaller elements, and this book has these little strawberries that were perfect for just filling in, like making that cluster seem more full. So I put a couple there on the top, and then I put one down on the bottom. I'm starting to drift out of frame, so apologies for that. Did not notice it was happening, but not too much. I wasn't out of the frame too bad. As you can see in my new filming setup, the background is darker, which I don't really like, and the space that I have to work with for putting my phone mount on the desk means that it's in the frame. You can see that in the top left. Don't like that either. Probably the way it's gonna be until I change my setup. The space I'm in is a little too small for me to want to bring my desk in, and my white desk from my old place that I use for all my other videos, but I might need to because I don't have quite enough space on this table that I'm using right now. So we'll see how it goes. This part of the video, I am desperately searching for some kind of sticker. I like having a long sticker for my weekly to-do list. You kind of got a glimpse of it on the last 2 pages, and this book didn't have a long sticker. So I pulled out my Colorful Boxes sticker book. I have a couple of these, but I've only dove into one so far. So I've got quite a few of these, and I find this long black box that I really like because I think it brings in the dark text from the quote box, and I had it. It was a sticker that I had. It's gonna match, so I put it up there in the top right of the spread to balance out the quote, and also I had to decide where I wanted my memory keeping to be. And so I was considering putting the sticker on the bottom, because then I would have this like bottom of the page kind of cluster going on with my boxes and my quote and my decoration all together, but then the top page would be all my memory keeping, and I didn't like that. I wanted to be able to put a little bit of memory keeping at the top, and then as you can see here, I've created a little bit of space at the bottom for some memory keeping as well, and I like how that came out better. So I've got that long sticker there, and now I'm trying to decide what I want to do next, because it's still a little too plain for my tastes. I know I want something overlapping the black box to add some more dimension. So I'm paging through my original sticker book to try to find a box that I like, but I used all my pink and green boxes on the weekly page. We had a long discussion about that, so I had to decide what other color I wanted to bring in just for this page. And I ultimately decided on this golden yellow. It's a really nice color. I avoided it in the last spread because I was focusing on the pinks of the fruit, but this page I put that big old pineapple, and the B in bright is yellow too, so I felt a little more comfortable bringing in a different color, and I ended up using this yellow box. I should have whited out the black underneath, but I didn't because I was tired of dealing with trying to hide these lines, so I didn't do it for this box, but I do end up having to do it again because the very last element that I add to this page, other than my poor attempt to fix that header, is going to be one more fruit, and it's this pear. You can barely see it there in the corner, but it's big and pink and pretty, and it's gonna look so ugly with that black line crossing through the middle of it. But no more messing with this whiteout, or sorry, no more messing with this gel pen thing. I went to whiteout instead, and I just pulled my runner tape. I don't always like using this because you can kind of see it through the stickers too, and I was hoping that the gel pen would be more subtle, but because of my lack of patience and technique, it did not work out. So I just used the whiteout tape, and it actually ended up looking fine. So I put that down, and I widened it out a little too much. The whiteout peeks out over the edge of the pear, and so to fix that, I'm using the eraser part of my Pilot friction pen to just scrape off the whiteout, and that worked really well. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't sure that it was gonna work. This wasn't something I had done before, but it was nice. It let me do a very precise removal of the whiteout, and it works. And now we sit back and we look at that header, and we think about how plain it looks on the page with all my other lovely elements, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Trying to decide what to do. I almost made it thicker with the pink marker. That would have probably looked the nicest, but it bled on my weekly, and I knew that if I started layering on the pink in an effort to make the letters bolder, it was gonna bleed through on my other page. I didn't want that to happen, so I am going in and I'm trying to outline it in black, and it's not good. There's no point in watching me do this in real time, so let's skip forward. And it's done. So there she is. Overall, I like the spread so far. It's just not that header. So I'm gonna flip back to my weekly spread one more time so you can take a look at that. I like that they coordinate. And yeah, so if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.